All right, let's talk more now as we count down to the Paris Olympic Games. They will be here before we know it here during the summer. We cannot wait. And we are honored now to talk with a USA Olympian. She is from right here in the H-Town area, the Woodlands, in fact. This is Kassidy Cook, Olympic synchro diver. Kassidy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, we're doing fine, and everybody's been watching you there in Knoxville, where you're coming from right now. Monday night, I believe, you and Sarah got on that board. You took care of business. You're on your way to Paris and the Olympics again. Describe what that feeling was like to get it done on Monday.
I mean, it was an unreal feeling. We've been through a lot as a team in the last few years. The last trials in 2021, I was really struggling with a shoulder injury, so we weren't able to perform the way that we were capable of. So to be able to show up this trials, feeling healthy, feeling ready to go, and be able to put one of our best performance out there feels awesome. And obviously the result is what we wanted. So I'm over the moon.
Of course, everybody that follows Kassidy, your career, you're a 2016 Olympian there in Rio as well. You're going back. I mean, it's hard to get to one Olympic Games, and you continue to be in this sport, a very physical sport, dealing with injuries, and you've got to be locked in mentally to do this at a very high level.
Oh, for sure. I would say diving is 60% mental. I mean, if you could turn your brain off and just let your muscle memory take over, you would be a much better diver. But yeah, that's something that I've really worked on between the Rio Olympics and now, is just that mental training and maturity.
So describe the work you and Sarah have put in, and you and I were talking. You go way back with Sarah. You said at the age of 10, I believe. Y'all know each other very well.
Long time ago in junior diving, and
yeah,
when we were competitors against one another, and that's kind of when our friendship blossomed. We've always been really close, especially starting when we were in that junior diving age. When I decided to come back to diving after taking a break in 2019, Sarah was starting to really excel. And so I had texted her and I was like, I really want to do synchro. I think we would be good. And then we got paired together at a camp, and the rest is history. So it's really been almost 5 years of partnership now, with maybe 1 or 2 years off from injury. But we've worked our butts off, sacrificed a lot. I actually moved up to Minneapolis in September to train with her and her coach at the University of Minnesota. And so there's been a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears put into this. And so to see that dream come to fruition, was really awesome. And this is going to be Sarah's first Olympics. So I'm very excited to share this experience with her and kind of, be a mentor for anything that she might need me for at the Olympics. Obviously, it's a global stage, so the pressure is a little different. So I think, me being a resource for her if she needs me will really help us.
I want to follow up with that, because after Monday, when y'all won and advanced to the Olympics, there were a lot of hugging. There was a lot of tears flowing. You just mentioned not only for yourself, and I know that meant a lot to you for all the work you've put in, but you were just as happy for Sarah too. And I saw that broadcast, and you could see the emotion coming from her. What did that make you feel like?
I mean, I'm so proud of her. She has worked so hard, and she's been one of the best divers in the country for the last 4 years. And the last trials did not go the way that she wanted them to go. Going into it, she was definitely the favorite for the individual event, and just kind of had a heartbreaking result, missing out on the synchro with me, getting second place, and then getting third place in the individual. So also missing that event by 1 spot. So to see her come back and really perform at this trials has been awesome. And I'm super proud of her and so happy for her, because everybody knows that Sarah deserves to be an Olympian. And for it to finally happen was just incredible.
Was there a point, and you've been doing this a long time, where you said, I've had it, I'm not doing it anymore? Or have you continued to have that same passion? Or have you gone through periods of time where, because you've got to be all in, either all in or you don't do it, right?
Exactly. And so when I go through those periods where I don't feel like I can give, my everything, either physically or mentally, I'll kind of take a step back. Over the years, I've had several surgeries and injuries, and, with that comes those mental obstacles as well. So I've taken a few breaks here and there. I took a break after 2016, and then I took a break again after the 2021 Olympics, just to kind of reset, get some physical therapy done, take care of my body and get back into the sport when I was mentally and physically ready. And I think that was the best decision for me, because when I came back this time around, I was determined. I was, as fit as I've ever been, and my shoulders felt as good as they ever have. So, I think just taking short periods of break to reflect on my career and what I need physically and mentally to move forward and keep, going for my goals has been a real game changer these last few years.
I want to ask you, for people that watch it on TV, y'all make it look so easy, but it's far from that. Walk us through somebody who doesn't know what it's like to be on that platform diving, and the impact you make on the water day in and day out, just the physical side of the sport, let alone being a synchro diver where you all have to be exactly on the spot every single dive. Walk us through that, people that have not experienced that before.
Yeah, I mean, diving is a very repetitive motion sport, kind of like a baseball pitcher. You're pitching over and over, and you're going to have a lot of overuse injuries. Same thing, you're hitting the water with your arms over your head over and over, and that's a lot of stress. Maybe not once or twice, but when you're doing it thousands of times per week for decades, it can really take a toll on your body. So got to be really smart with that and do a lot of physical therapy. The water is as hard as concrete before you break the surface tension. So, a little bit of science for you, but the water can be mean. It's not gentle. So just really making sure that personally I'm keeping up with my physical therapy exercises and doing my strength training to make sure that I can handle those repetitions and that kind of strain that's put on the body that many people might not realize diving has.
Well, y'all make it look so easy, so smooth. It's a fun sport to watch. I want to ask you, and you and I were talking, I covered you back at the Woodlands High School in 2013 is when you got out, and you've had a busy, 11 years now of doing it at a very high level. Back then, did you have the Olympic dream, even back then when you realized, okay, I've got some skills now, I can build on that and keep getting better? Did you see the potential back then?
Yeah, I mean, I've had Olympic aspirations since I was just a little girl, probably 6 years old. And I came very, very close to making the 2012 team. Right. When I was a junior in high school. I missed making the team in the synchro event by less than half a point. So
that's right. Yes.
That was pretty heartbreaking back then, but it kind of, it made me realize, hey, that this is a realistic dream of mine. Like, I was that close to making the team at 17 years old. If I can keep training, stay healthy, then one day I will be on that Olympic team.
How cool was that at the age of 17, getting to experience that and on the verge of going to the Olympics when you're in high school?
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experience. Obviously very heartbreaking to miss the team by that, small of a margin. But to be able to be one of the youngest people out in the field at that time and perform as well as I did, really sparked a confidence in me. What do you see now? I know you're locked in on Paris right now. Can you keep doing this? Like, I know every sport has kind of its limit. It depends on how your body's feeling, all that kind of stuff too. But where are you now career-wise beyond Paris? That's something that I like you said, I'm going to be focusing on Paris for now. Yeah. I could see myself keep going. I am a little bit on the older side, like upper range. I'm not the oldest. I'm not the youngest. I'm in that like kind of upper to mid range in age. So, I mean, anything's possible. I think 2028, a home Olympics would be incredible. But obviously 4 years is a long time, especially when you're 29, getting up into your 30s. So I'll just have to take it one step at a time, but I don't want to count myself out just yet. Absolutely. What advice would you give your younger Kassidy coming through the ranks now that you're seasoned, you've been around doing this a long time, that maybe you would have done differently? Any advice you would have given a young Kassidy Cook? I think with all the injury and heartbreaking results that I've experienced, I think just letting them know that if you push through, you stay strong, you persevere, that you'll learn a lesson from each of the good and the bad, and don't take that for granted. All right, lastly, it's all about going to Paris now. You all head there in the middle of July, and then the party begins. What are your thoughts going there now? I'm sure doing this at international level, you know who your competition is. How do y'all feel, you and Sarah,
as you go to Paris, knowing the competition you're going to be facing and trying to get out of there, hopefully with a gold medal?
Yeah, that's the goal, the gold medal. Obviously, our biggest competition is going to be China. They are pretty dominant in the sport of diving, but me and Sarah are we're sneaking up behind them. Our last 3 international competitions, we got 2 silvers and a gold. So we definitely have potential to get up on that podium. All the people that we competed against at those competitions are going to be the teams at the Olympics. And, to be able to get those 2 silvers and a gold, puts in our mind that we are capable of getting on that podium. And the main goal is to beat China. And I don't think that's out of reach this time. I think me and Sarah, if we can put together one of our best lists, I think that it is pretty possible that we could stump the Chinese.
Well, that would be outstanding. Just know all of Houston is pulling for you, and all of America is going to be pulling for you too. And I know that's a great feeling. And I guess you got a little bit of time to brush up on your French now, right? Or do you have that down pat? Well, listen, best of luck to you and Sarah. I know you're going to continue to put in the work. We will be pulling for you. And I know you're going to make Houston proud, just representing the United States. That's a big deal, and we're happy for you, Kassidy.
Thank you so much, and I'm happy to represent Houston as well.
Awesome. Kassidy Cook from the Woodlands on her way to the Paris Olympic Games. 3-meter synchro diver with Sarah Bacon. Good luck. We'll be following you. Thanks, Kassidy.
Thank you.